Hey guys, welcome to this month's video. I thought I'd do something a little bit different in this video in that instead of going over the usual kind of track breakdown sort of thing, I'd go into bass design specifically. And instead of just going over what I've done previously, which is still cool, I thought I'd actually just sit and make some noises on Serum and you could kind of see the process and see what my general workflow is. And I thought I could do kind of make a cool bass sound within Serum completely, then make a combination having Serum and outboard effects, and then also maybe make some bass noises with different kind of timbres and whatever. So maybe like a Reese thing and maybe something that's a bit more analog kind of sounding with Serum. I'm going to do a separate video on these guys, these analog synths. I know that not everyone has analog synths, so it'll be a bit more difficult for me to explain and for you to apply that same sort of, knowledge from those videos as you would with me just playing on Serum, basically. So, as I've not really planned anything, it might sound terrible at the end. So I do apologize for that if that's the case, but hopefully we'll get something cool. I'll just play around. I'll try and explain things as I go, kind of as if I was streaming sort of thing. So, yeah. There you go. That's sick. That's sick bass noise. Let's keep that. Let's save it. Wicked. Perfect. Obviously not. So, I guess it's... I generally kind of start with a Reese kind of thing, usually. Straight away I always go in the global settings and I turn the width down a little bit, and I'll usually turn the first oscillator down slightly to around like 50 and leave the second one a bit wider. I'll show you why in a sec. Let's go for some pink noise. Ooh, that's weird. Why's that not going into the filter? Oh, direct out, that's why. So once I've got a kind of baseline level of a sound that I like. So I mean, this is pretty obviously basic and a bit crap. So I'll usually add a bit of distortion and then just add the compressor on straight away just to get a rough level. Kind of speeds things up. And then I'm going to start adding LFOs and stuff, so get a bit more movement. That actually sounds really cool with the way it's interacting with the noise there, so I might leave the LFO off. Could be killer. No, I'll put the LFO on the noise. So I'm trying to get another little movement later on so it has a bit more of a phrase. So I'm just going to delay this second LFO. Maybe add a bit of FM or something on there too. Probably a bit of EQ as well now. So this one I'm going to try and keep within Serum completely. So I'm going to dip out 300 as it's a greasy kind of sound. Could add a bit of chorus too there. Sometimes I'll use the chorus in place of the dimension setting on here. Sometimes I'll use both. Not the doubler here, the unison. I'm just going to use the dimension. Kind of sounds cool. Let's go a bit crazy though. Let's add some more filtering here. Kind of sounds cool. A lot of the Serum filters are kind of, it's just trying to find the little sweet spot, that little like 10% of the filter that sounds really cool. Put a little bit of delay on it as well, behind the filter. Ooh. Let's add a bit of pitch filtering on. That on another LFO. Got 50. There's 50 right there. What's that? Level 4. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty cool. Pretty interesting. This is pretty much the process. So from here, I'd probably save this as like a baseline level of I keep saying baseline. Not baseline, but baseline, like baseline, like that, you know what I mean? So let's save this. I'm a Patreon tutorial base 1. So now I have that, I can start to really mess around with it and maybe change out some of these filters. So I'll add a different filter here. So instead of the low pass, I've got I don't know, one of these crazy filters down here. Like, yeah. I mean, I like that, so I'm gonna save that too. So let's do that as too. And once you have that, the first sound that you're happy with, and you're like, cool, that sounds great, I'm happy with that. Really, I just try and get the most out of every sound that I make. So I'm constantly just trying to create as many little variances as possible. You know, start to change around the movement a little bit, and then you gradually build upon the sound and start getting some really crazy results. Let's get a different filter on it. So this is the kind of sound where now there's not much, you know, there's not much sub in it. So what I probably do is actually just use that as it's like a mid-range sort of layer like this, and layer that with another sound underneath. But I'm using effects. I'm not allowed to use effects for this now. So what else could we do here? No, that sounds cool too. So yeah, I'll just literally just do this. I'll sit and I'll create little variances and (2020). So I might even just remove this first and just have this as the main LFO now. that sounds cool. Like dip out this sub. So it kind of does this. It comes in on that big note there. Cool stuff. This also might sound terrible as well. I'm using headphones, which I'm not used to wearing. I usually do this on speakers, so the mix of it might sound a bit weird. Maybe like too much bass or too little bass. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, this is what I'll do. And I mean, a lot of this kind of bass design stuff is just sitting and tweaking endlessly for hours sometimes before you get something that you're kind of happy with, or something that, I don't know, sounds interesting. And by milking the sound a little bit more, I mean like this. So like that sounds, I don't even know what the first bit sounded like. So there we got like two very different from the same patch. You know, you got two different vibes. This is more of like a rolly kind of, you know, very modern-ish sort of thing, and here you got bit more of a neuro-y phrase that you could use. Yeah. All right. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, what I could do here as well is move around these. I specifically move around the distortion, put it after certain effects, so maybe I'll put it after the delay and the filter. Here it's not making too much of a difference, but say if I change the distortion type, maybe use more of a rectify. So doing stuff like this as well. Playing around with the distortion parameters, putting LFOs on the distortion and stuff like that. Anyway, that sounds pretty cool. Let's try a new sound. Let's initialize this one. Maybe let's go for something a bit more like softer, analog-y sounding. Usually just go for like we go for sound like a softer wavetable. Yeah, this sort of thing. Actually, I'm gonna reset this. How do I reset these? Oh shit! Oh no! Let's just put them all down to 0. There you go. Why is it clicking? Oh, that's annoying. I'm going to initialize that. Ugh, not very with it today. Okay, let's go for... It was this guy, and... I think I just used the same, didn't I? This guy. Okay, let's so with analog oscillators, you've only usually got two, so you wouldn't necessarily be able to. Well, usually you've only got like two oscillators, so you wouldn't be able to kind of unison and detune this way. Well, you could, but you know that's completely bullshit what I just said. No, I prefer to, when I'm trying to emulate more warmer kind of analog sounds, I'll just detune using the pitch of the oscillator rather than using the unison and detune down here. I keep it kind of mono. Let's put this in envelope mode. So I'll use the LFOs as an envelope rather than using the envelope, just to get more control over it. Maybe I will use a bit of the envelope here though. Good combination. Let's add a bit of a low pass. Envelope. And I'll use a macro here as well on the cutoff so that I can keep that LFO filter shape, but then open it up like this. So it's probably a bit quiet as well. Let's put in a bit of compression. Not too much compression. Bit of chorus. Chorus is nice and vintage. Let's use tiny bit of reverb and delay as well. It's a helicopter outside my window. Not sure if you can hear that. Wonderful timing. Sorry if it's too loud on the video, but just a slight reverb like this. Could turn my headphones up as well. Bit of EQ as well. Let's take out the. Could kind of use this as well to accentuate the filter as well, like that. Put a bit of distortion at the start, maybe a bit of tape saturation. Let's pitch this down. I think. Oh yeah, let's put bit of portamento, and let's change the velocity curve. So link that to the filter actually. Come on. This is sounding awful. It's also distorting a little bit, so let's sort that out. I put multiband on for this. What's going on with this? Why is it so quiet now? What is happening? Okay, that sounds shit. I'm not massively happy with this sound. It's a bit shit. So, oh well, that's the risk of doing it. Doing it live. I did make a better patch for this month's Patreon. It's kind of a bit more. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one's a bit nicer. You can kind of hear there. So here I've just used Sawtooth. And I've used as well, here's a little tip for getting that kind of like wow and flutter kind of sound. You can kind of hear the pitch is going up and down. So I've got an LFO here linked to the pitch, just slightly going back and forth, you know, between the two oscillators. Sounds cool. So when you're creating these kind of more melodic synths like this, I definitely prefer to add a bit of a velocity curve with how you're playing the notes. You get a bit more liveliness out of the sound. You know, I can really get those nice little dynamics between the playing, between the notes. So then if you're, you know, you obviously don't do that, but yeah, you get a bit more variance in your notes and stuff. So let's do a bass noise, but using a bit more outboard effects rather than just sticking to Serum. So let's have a look at what we got in here. Just thought we could get somewhere. Something that's a bit more basic. So listen. Some. I don't know why this is that short, but okay. So this is kind of, it's okay, but I mean, we could splice this up with splice this up with some effects. So let's do that. Usually I'll just start off with a bit of overdrive, just a bit of saturation, clipping. Could it use more distortions? Could maybe use Trash 2 for more multi-band kind of stuff. Let's go here and do multi-band. could be cool. Then I'll just put a bit of this, bit of this glue. You can even clip this. That sounds kind of cool. A bit of EQ. Oh no, that's reverb. We don't want that. You know, as it's you know, you're just in sound design sessions, you can just start adding even more filtering plugins on here. Let's try it. I mean, there's this one. I don't even use this. Let's see what it does. I mean, that sounds kind of cool. Let's turn the sub down a little bit. Maybe we could add a bit more of a... It's a bit of a nasty, distorting sound. I don't know if it's the trash or... Yeah, it is. Wait, is it this? No. There we go. Got it. Let's do the reverb thing. So what I do at this point, this is getting really messy. Okay. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's not a good sign. That's usually a sign that it's like crashed or something. So I'll put an EQ before the distortion and one after as well. So this one's after. So you're obviously getting a lot of mid-range kind of stuff here that I'm kind of taming, but you can boost little resonances before the distortion. You know, it's kind of stuff like this. Or you can be really extreme and, you know. And say... You know, I kind of like that sound, even though it's very... You know, you're getting a lot of resonance there. So then I'll use the post EQ to... That's kind of sounding cool, a bit purry. Maybe that's more filter. Oh, more of that horrible. What's going on here? High cut. That's not nice. That high end is a bit fucking horrible, but. Ooh. So with this kind of noise, because it's a bit of a mess and there's different variations in the sound, I'm not getting the same sound every time. I'm not sure if this is because of the filter here or there's some randomness going on in Serum. I'm not sure. They shouldn't be, but yeah, I'll kind of just sit here and do this, then sit and... this is me messing around with the pre-EQ before the distortion. Even do this. So that kind of sounds cool. So that last bit I really like. You know, so all of that just for this little phrase here, but I think that sounds really cool. I mean, to be honest, I could save the whole thing just so I have it, which I will do. So put this in here, bass, I don't know, call it just tutorial guy. Wow. There you go. So I know I'm not really explaining a lot of what I'm doing here. Well, I guess I kind of am, but I think it's good for you guys to see that it isn't always just like, you know, I spent 10 minutes on a sound, it sounds incredible. It's like sometimes like this is cool. I like a lot of the sounds here, but it's nothing crazy. You know, it's nothing amazing, and this might require another few hours of tinkering around before I get something that's really, really interesting. But yeah, it's good to know that it does just take a long time of just playing around, and sometimes you get lucky with certain sounds, but yeah, majority of the time it's just a lot of little tweaks and tinkering and stuff like that. Yeah, so you can see as well the difference in the style of sound with adding effects rather than just using Serum all on its own, which, I mean, not many people do, because, I mean, I can't imagine that many people would like to do that to themselves, limit themselves to just using Serum effects, but yeah, using outboard effects in combination with Serum is always a really good time. So I think that's like a good rounded sort of view on my general bass design process here. I've using, yeah, like I said, I'll do another video on these analog synths of just what I do with those, which is even more tinkering, which is probably very boring, but it's interesting anyway. For me, I think it's interesting, but yeah, I hope that's interesting for you as well. Generally, I haven't really been using that many other kind of sounds, and I mean VSTs for sounds. I used to use Repro quite a lot, but now I've got these synths, I'm not really using that as much, but most of the time I'm just using Serum. Very boring. That is how it is. But anyway, I hope that was interesting. Hope you enjoyed. Next month we'll do a track breakdown and possibly some more tutorial videos as well. So thank you again for another month of support. Thanks for supporting and just being part of the Patreon. It really means a lot. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.